Markets are unpredictable, volatile, complex, but your trading journey doesn't have to be. Hola Prime TV is now live. Every trading day, join top coaches as they break down real-time setups, key levels, live trades across Forex, futures, and crypto. From Tokyo's early momentum to London's open surge to New York's high volatility action. We decode every move live. Get sharp analysis, clear strategies, and insights that actually make sense. And yeah, we don't just break down charts. We crack a few smiles too. Only on Hola Prime TV. This is more than content. This is infotainment and beyond.
Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. As always, I am Coach Paul, and this is the Hola Prime Market News Update. The U.S. equity futures markets continued their continued down to the south side in today's trading session. The S&P 500 futures lost 0.52% on the day, currently trading around the 6,660 mark, which is not only the point of control from this previous session today, but also the point of control from last week's Fed meeting session. An interesting little note. The NASDAQ posted a 0.43% loss on the day and is currently trading at 24,627. And the Dow Jones had a loss of about 0.45% and is currently trading at 46,275. On the global front, we have some economic news released out of Japan and Ireland, actually. Japan's Tokyo core CPI as well as overall CPI year over year came in much better than expected at 2.5% versus forecasts of 2.8%. And for Ireland, the consumer confidence number climbed from its previous reading of 61.1 to 61.7 in September. On the U.S. dollar Forex pairs, the U.S. dollar showed some strength today amongst the major currency pairs. Euro USD had its second largest a second larger red day in a row, losing about 0.66% today's session and is currently trading at 1.1714 as of this writing. CAD USD was one of the stronger pairs, losing 0.3% and currently trades at 0.7197. GBP USD logged a loss of 0.75% on the day and is currently trading at 1.334, while the Swiss franc lost about 0.58% versus the US dollar and is currently trading at 1.261. As for the Japanese yen, it continued its larger downward trend, losing about 0.64% in today's trading session and is currently trading at 149.87 yen to the US dollar, almost back to that 150 mark we saw. Lastly, the New Zealand dollar lost 0.78% against the US dollar today, and the pair currently sits at 0.578. On the cryptocurrency front, we were red across the board today. Bitcoin is down 3.5% and is currently trading at 109,500 as of this writing, while Ethereum is down a whopping 6.5% and currently trading at $3,894. We also have Litecoin down 3.2%, trading at $102.62, while XRP is down 7%, trading at $2.76, while Solana is down 8.7%, trading at $194.77. On the commodities front, we had gold futures gaining 0.31% on the day after a sizable pullback Wednesday. Gold futures are trading at $3,772 per troy ounce as of this writing. And silver futures, my goodness, they had a very bullish day today, gaining a whopping over 3% and reaching $45.50 by the end of the session. Silver futures are currently trading just below the $45 per troy ounce area. WTI crude oil futures continued their rally this week with a 0.66% gain in today's session and currently are trading at $65.26 per barrel. As for our key events tomorrow, we just simply have the core PCE price index month-over-month data releasing at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. So we could see some volatility in the morning session. Now, without further ado, it is time for our Quiet Markets live trading session with both myself and Coach Tiger. So let's get to the trading. Coach
Yo, yo!
Tiger.
What's
How are
going
you, my
on,
friend?
my friend? I'm great.
Yeah, awesome. Nothing much here.
Great.
How was the Forex Fire morning session for you?
Pretty good. The second half of the show, we actually had an influencer come in to as a guest. So he brought over some of his people into the chat. He's part of God Love University out of South Africa, actually, not too far down the road from Coach Richard and Coach James. So yeah, he came on for about an hour and a half with us, and yeah, we just got to kind of see some of the things that he does and kind of how he does his how he does a lot of coaching and teaching as well. So it was just nice to have somebody on. But yeah, he does a lot of different ways of trading: scalping, intraday, short term, long term, swing trading, position trading. So yeah, he kind of just went through his gigantic spread of what he does and focuses on every day. It's pretty cool. Yeah, really great
Very
person.
cool.
Great to have him on. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep. So
Heck yeah.
always good to get other opinions and guest opinions on a show to kind of see what the rest of the world's out there doing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
How was the were you able to make any trades this morning, or no? You're more of a chill day for you.
So I got into a couple. The one I'm in currently is up in the money, but the one I got into this morning, excuse me, I got into gold, and I got into two positions, and it's kind of funny. Back in, if you don't mind, flip on over to my chart, and we'll see what kind of a mess I got into today. Not really a mess, but I got in on this. This is a 30-minute demand over here, so I got in, and then price. Let's see, price came up, came down, touched another smaller time frame zone. So I got in a second position. So, and it got to a point when price was up in this area to where I moved everything to stop or to break even. So I had a free trade on those two positions going. Well, it was just ahead of my order on the second order, and so it's funny because I was moving my stop losses. And of course, when you get a couple trades real close together, you have to kind of move around with your mouse to make sure you're on the right one. I should have just did this, to zoom into it, but I didn't. I just left it as is. And it's funny because in the process of moving my stop losses to break even, the two stop losses, I didn't realize it, but I accidentally clicked the X button on one of them. And I couldn't, I basically canceled the stop loss or closed it out. And I didn't know it because everything was kind of bunched together. Well, price came back. I got out for a break even on the one trade somewhere in this area here. Yeah, right up in here. And then I left. This was towards the end of Forex fire. So then I turned around and left, went to McDonald's, grabbed me a Scooby snack or two. Then I came back, and then I realized price was all the way down here. I'm like, wait a minute. That should have stopped me out of both positions. And it didn't.
Man.
So I'm like, my gosh. So I ended up putting in a brand new stop loss under here, and you can see it actually turned around and came and tapped me out. But yeah, it was just a bonehead mistake. I should have, like I said, I should have just zoomed in like this to make sure everything was separate, but I didn't. I was just trying to move it. And yeah, like I said, I hit the X button by mistake and just accidentally closed me out. I didn't notice it.
It happens. It happens to the best of us, my friend. It'll happen to the best of us. We're like just one. We're all humans, man. I feel like we've all made a technical error where you accidentally double click something when you didn't mean to or whatever. Dude, I feel like it's happened to all of us. So.
Yeah. And that could have, and I can't blame that on the platform because I would have very easily done that on any other broker platform I have. So. It was just a me problem. So, but yeah, besides that, I'm currently in a Swiss yen long position. So take a look at that one here real quick. Let's see here. Where was okay. So started off with this demand over here. This demand right here. And, I was waiting for a little bit of confirmation, so that's why I didn't want to just limit order it because it's a little bit higher up than it's a little too high to want to be just trusting it and letting the limit order do its thing. Limit orders are more for the lower end of the curve, in my opinion. I mean, with the way I trade. So, if I'm getting into a trade a little bit higher up, trying to chase or trying to latch onto the already strong trend, then I'll often just make sure it kind of proves itself, right? Maybe get a little break of structure and then I'll pull back and that kind of thing. I've kind of drawn that diagram out a few times, but so that's basically what happened here. We finally did tap in deeper into the zone. I ended up looking at the new candle that had formed, and then when price came back, I tapped in here. So, so that was more of that confirmation entry that I like to do. Might even look better on a smaller time frame. Let me double check here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the initial drop in, break a structure, and then the retrace, right? Break a structure here. So that's the whole idea. And then, like I said, just drill down a little deeper, find the 15-minute zone. There was a 5-minute zone, a little bit of confluence. So ended up getting in right here, and we're currently going up fairly decent at the moment. About 70 unrealized at the moment. So it's just a matter of managing the trade a little bit. We're at all-time highs with the Swiss yen, I think. Let me double check that. I think that's where we're at. Swiss yen. I just go out to my monthly chart. Yeah, so we're all-time highs on the Swiss yen, going back as far as we want, all the way back to the age of the dinosaurs, right? 1973, 1972. Yeah. So all-time highs. So yeah, who knows? It's always uncharted territory when as far as trying to hold a trade. Now it already did break the all-time high during my trade. So then we of course had the intraday session switch over. So yeah, I ended up pushing this thing up to just under this wick here. As far as another break-even trade, or $10 at worst, looks like. But hopefully we can break a new high. And if we can break a new high, then I'll be definitely trail stopping under this low whenever, if and when that occurs. So that is basically where I am at. Just want to see price do something like this. If we can get a close up here, then I'll be moving my stop under here. Just follow it on up as much as it wants to pay me. Who knows what will happen in brand new territory, right?
Definitely.
Now, some people use extensions, map it out, but I usually just do the whole trail stop thing myself.
Yeah, the fib extensions thing does seem to be something I feel like I need to pay more attention to. With like, I usually look at the options chain for the futures to try and understand like extensions into unknown territory. But like the fib stuff I think that's just something I need to study up on a little bit more and see if I can't, because Coach Tony uses fib stuff a lot, and I think I just need to get a little bit of that into my repertoire of sorts. Just understand it a little
Repertoire.
bit more for sure. We
Is
do
that
have
a
Tom in the chat, actually.
yeah? What's going on, Mr. Tom? What's going on?
Yeah, we
What's
have.
silver going to do next? What is silver going to do
Yeah,
next? Above 47, back to 43, range between 44, 45. Yeah, I heard you talking about silver on the news, man. What's
mhm.
up with that? A little bit of
Dude,
silver
I know.
love.
Yeah, silver just, dude, it's wild, man. It is crazy. Silver is absolutely on a tear. I think, I mean, if I was a betting man, I would guess that we are going to eventually revisit those all-time highs of like 40 or $50 essentially an ounce. The trajectory it's on, it just seems like it's inevitable at some point. But yeah, insane bullishness, just like gold. But today with gold, we kind of had a little bit of a relative like consolidation day, whereas silver was absolutely to the moon.
Yeah,
Um,
it's shoot. It's
Tom's talking about in the chat here. He's talking about
yeah.
the market profile shapes. Like he's talking about value area high, low, point of control. Glad that you're a part of the market profile or TPO team, Tom. It's definitely I think a educational world to be in the trading space. So I'm good to hear you talking about it. And you're in a B shape this evening. Yeah, the B shapes, the P shapes. Start learning about all that kind of stuff and how to interpret them. But that is something Tiger
Or Paul's
actually is
favorite.
getting into. What? What'd you
Your
say? Sorry.
favorite, the H, and your favorite, the H.
Oh, yeah, that's. I was gonna say that's something. That's so funny. That's something entirely different, but hilarious. There's another letter in my trading repertoire. That's so funny, man. Oh gosh, so true. But
Yeah, no, that's good stuff, Tom. Hey, look, I'm gonna be hitting up Coach Paul myself because when it comes to all that, volume profile is something I know about and I've studied up on. But yeah, getting playing around with futures, I'll be getting me a futures account. So all that stuff makes decent sense on the face. But yeah, he's gonna have all the nuances and everything they go over. So yep, definitely gonna be hitting him up once I get my futures account open. Give me something to do during
yeah,
the
man,
early part of the New York session. Mess around with some futures. I'm
definitely.
excited to check out the currency futures myself. I mean, coming from the forex world, so and all the
Of
fundamentals I
course.
already have and already track, it just would make sense to me to for me to just jump straight into the currencies. I won't know what to do with myself, focusing on one currency as opposed to two at a time.
Dude, you're gonna. I
Currency.
know yeah, yeah. You're gonna enjoy it. I think you're gonna enjoy the futures world with FX stuff for sure. You're definitely gonna enjoy it. Um,
Yep. Yeah. Forex
I'm
is.
trying to get into it myself a little bit more, but I already pay attention to
Yeah.
so many markets. So part of me is like, I spread myself so thin already. Maybe I just hone it back, just hone what I've got for now, and then maybe explore the FX stuff at some point soon on at least the major USD pairs here on the for futures. So
Yep. Yep. I'm still married to forex, but I'm just going to take futures out on a date. Right. It's just as simple as that. Right. A little two
yeah.
timing. Right? Only in trading. That's it. That's it. Only
Right.
talking about trading here.
Exactly.
But it's
Exactly.
good. It's good. I mean, it's good. Once you figure something out, it's just good to kind of branch out, and then you'll always have options, right? Because there's some days where the currencies are just trash. So that's why, like for me, I love looking at gold, silver. I love looking at the indices, or now U.S. oil. I've added oil to my repertoire, to use your word, over the
Hmm.
last handful of months. So but yeah, natural next step from what I hear. I even heard, I think Coach Daryl or somebody say it on you guys' stream, is to just graduate from forex to futures, right? So it's just good to kind of add everything and be a little more well versed. And that's to the point where I'm at, because I mean, I don't want to say I've mastered Forex, because I've not. There's always something to learn and get better at, and there's still losses that you get that you're like, how the hell, why the hell, what the hell, right? So,
Right.
but when you get well
Of
versed in
course.
other markets, I think from what I've discovered so far, just by simply adding Bitcoin and gold, silver, and the indices, uh, when you start branching out, you start learning how those markets operate, and then you start to understand this whole damn thing is just one big puzzle. The market is nothing more than just one gigantic worldwide puzzle, and this affects this, this affects this. Everything is interconnected. So the more you can
Hmm.
branch out and learn other markets after you know, not necessarily for a beginner, but I'm talking once you've been in this game for several years, right? You've really kind of got down your market of choice. Um, then start branching out at some point, whether that's a few years, a decade like me, or whatever. It's just good to do that, because you'll become more well versed, and then you'll see and understand how everything reacts and interacts with each other. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, but it doesn't
Yeah.
happen overnight. It takes a while to get to that point. My opinion.
Of course. Yeah. No, of course. Of course. For I agree. I agree 100%. Um, well, I guess I'll like we can go into what I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at gold at the
Sure.
moment. I mean, gold is
Yeah.
insanely volatile. Yeah, I'm just really looking at gold and the Nasdaq, to be quite honest, because gold, Nasdaq, and the ES, but gold volatility right now is just wild. We just literally tanked $10 in the last 7 minutes of us just chatting, and it's continuing to go down here. I I missed this move completely. I feel like it could keep going, but I just don't know how much longer, because we've already approached value area high from the previous trading session. Like, we're coming down to retest that area in the gold session. So part of me part of me is wary of a possible support here, but also I see a lot of liquidity at 770, which we could just drop right into right now. And um, you know what? I'm going to quickly short this. And there's no stop on here, so I need to put the stop. Here we go.
Always have a stop. Don't do like me and delete it.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, yep. And I need the
Uh,
stop literally. I'm looking for a quick little bit of money here. I'm putting the stop at break even now. I'm looking for like $100 essentially. There we are. Cool. All right. $126. Nice. Oh, I need to get out of this stop. All right, there we go. Perfect. So literally that whole trade that I just did right there, like that took, I mean, I don't know if my screen was even sharing. Okay, it was good. Great.
yeah.
That short that I just took was purely based off of, I started seeing liquidity, like bigger bids just hop onto the bid offer ladder, and every single time a bid was being put down of like relatively large size, sellers were just getting attracted to it. So it was one of those situations where like liquidity was like acting as a magnet. And I figured, you know what, I missed most of this down move, but I have seen the same trend occurring over these last like 10 minutes or whatever. So I'll get short for that quick, like $1.50 per ounce drop down to the liquidity that I see. It literally did that. I got out, and now it's hanging out, and I'm just going to look to see if any more liquidity pops up that sellers might want to try and go take out here. Um, there definitely did some more popped up at 770, and then we have some more at 37.66. So I wouldn't be surprised if we dropped another $5 here, to be quite honest. But we've
That
already
is it.
literally dropped $13 an ounce in this last 10 minutes. So big drops,
Parabolic.
big. Yeah, yeah, literally. Um, I mean, the way up was volatile too. I mean, you look at that move up there, and geez, it was just like straight up for 20 minutes, but then straight down for 10 or 15. So, um, yeah, well,
Yeah,
I'll
it's still
keep,
just interesting to see the
yeah,
volume just in gold and silver in general. How pretty cool it is to see that it's just not quite as strong as New York, but strong enough, right, to where it doesn't feel like it's slow like a lot of or quiet like a lot of the other markets. It's kind of nice
Right.
to play around with that. Yeah, I was talking with Coach
Yeah.
Tony last night. He was on me, and I was telling him how you and I were doing mostly gold trading on here of late, just because it just seems to be giving some good volume. I mean, Bitcoin not as
Yeah.
much, but yeah, definitely the gold and silver. Because if you look at just the volume charts on a 1 hour time frame, yeah, you'll get the early part of the Asia session where it's quite low, but then yeah, around this time it just seems to be picking up. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool to see that.
Wow. Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's fun to have a volatile asset like gold that is just being that also has a bunch of liquidity in it, and to be picking up so much overnight and be able to have a vehicle like this to trade instead of worrying about whether the indices, the equity indices, are going to really show up with any volume or not. So it's a
Yeah.
nice go-to for now. For now, it's a nice go-to, definitely.
Yeah.
And as I was just talking there, we came back down, revisited the 3770 area where there was a bunch of liquidity that then again popped up on the bid. We took it all out and then popped back up a little bit before now turning right back down. And it looks like we're going to
Nope.
go
There it
straight
goes.
through this area. Um, I was contemplating getting short there, but oh man, it's rough when it moves this quick. When it's moving this quick, you got to be convicted, and you got
On
to
top
just
of it, yeah.
immediately put the trade on. Yeah, like I did with that other trade where I captured that quick 130. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be quick. I mean, it's just gonna, or if you don't, like, you're gonna get in a terrible, like execution, and then all of a sudden your risk to reward is off, and et cetera, et
Right.
cetera. So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Even some of the yen pairs, some of the yen pairs are pretty decent. Um, the Aussie, the New Zealand, pretty decent volume on even some of these here in the aftermarkets. Just overall, just kind of comparing the 1 hour volume
Mhm.
candles on a sessions chart, which is pretty good because
Mhm.
Aussie New Zealand is still at the top of my bullish list. Pretty much. I mean, it's where's it at now? It's third, so it's a +9. So yeah, that's something I'm going to be keeping a little bit of an eye on, along with gold, just in
Mhm.
general, like every evening this time. Um,
Yeah, yeah. We do have Ariel in the chat. Ariel Fernandez, thank you all for your insights. You guys give appreciate it.
Hello.
We appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming in here. And well, Phillips, real quick. It's buying pressure, sir. More on selling win than buy as of now. What are you talking about, Phillips? You talking about for gold or? Um, I think I'm misunderstanding possibly, but Ariel's asking about AUD
Aussie
Swiss.
Swiss.
So maybe
Aussie
we can
Swiss. Yeah. We can
look at
move
that a
over
little
there real
bit.
quick. Yeah. Yeah. So Aussie Swiss, if I'm just looking at it from a 30,000 foot view, it is, let me see, I believe it's neutral. Yeah. Neutral, it's -2, so slightly bearish, but not enough to be interested in jumping into a big position of any type. But scalping or a small time frame, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We bounced off a supply zone during the early part of New York, or I should say pre-market. So we've been going down ever since. We go to a smaller time frame. See what kind of, okay, so we ran into another zone at about 10:45 a.m. Central Time. We had a giant drop, and now we've been kind of consolidating towards the end of New York / Asia. And yeah, it's kind of stuck in a little bit of a sideways trend here over the last few hours. So I think for me to be interested in a trade on Aussie Swiss, I'd probably have to have a retracement up, Ariel, probably around the there's a 30-minute supply zone, and it is at 0.5239. 0.5239. So that's one supply zone I'm keeping an eye on for
Show
possible
your
sell.
screen. We don't have your screen up for. We got to get the production crew
Oh,
to put your screen up real quick. So
well, back end if you can. Yeah, sorry about that. There we go.
No worries. Yeah,
sorry about that.
cool.
Yeah. So yeah, just kind of recapping that, Ariel. So yeah, we this is our 4-hour chart. Just a big ugly sideways chop, to be honest. Going to look even worse on a daily. If I turn on my master pattern, I'm sure it's going to start showing a bunch of boxes over here at some point. Yeah, got some boxes. So this just means nothing more than contraction, right? So we're starting to get a little bit of the contraction on either side. Yeah, contraction. So basically, the cool thing with these master pattern boxes, these contraction boxes, is the midpoint, the 50%, often acts as a support and resistance all on its own. So that's exactly where this supply zone I just drew up is at. It's actually a 30-minute supply zone, sorry. So we've got, do this. Let's just get rid of everything. There we go. So we got this last green candle up before this steep drop off. Pretty strong, momentum coming out of that. So yeah, I just basically would be interested in a simple retracement. Now, I don't want to just necessarily blindly sell into this thing. I'd love to see some type of manipulation happen here. So those contraction boxes that we just looked at, something like that to start confusing the retail traders, right? A little bit higher highs, a little bit lower lows, start taking out the liquidity. And then at some point on these contraction legs, okay, that's where I want one of those contraction legs to hop into the supply zone. Number one, to collect the buy orders that are hanging out up here, right? Since these people are selling, they're putting their stop losses up here. Opposite of a sell is a buy order. That's what banks need to fuel their sell orders, right? Along with any potential unfilled orders from the zone itself. So that right there would be the play for me personally. And again, that zone, at least on my broker, is about 0.5239 area. So I need to actually put an alert in there. Let's get my alert. I'm going to keep an eye on that one myself. I'll just throw it out through the end of the day tomorrow. Probably won't make it that far, but yeah. And I've gotten to where I like to set my alerts just a few pips ahead of the zone. Give me a couple minutes to get there, so that by the time it hits the zone, I'll be able to make a plan if I need to take a market order right away, a confirmation order, or anything of that nature. Was you going to say something?
Right. Yeah. Real quick, I am short the ES actually right now. Looking for. I'm going to be short. Essentially, I'm planning on being short for a little while here for like a decent bit of time.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking that this could take literally the whole session for my my level to play out. I'm looking to get short and essentially eat through a ton of liquidity that's stacked up down to 66.48, and we're currently at 66.57. So I got a terrible fill at 66.56 quarter, which is almost the low tick of the move that just occurred, and then we bounce back up here. But yeah, we'll just stay in that for a little while. My stop is relatively high up here. It's about 3 points up or so. So should be good. I'll update everybody, and I'll have the production team put up my position right now. Cool. Awesome. Sweet. But yeah, that's it. That's it. That is it.
Right on. Yeah, I was just going to... Oh, I need to put my order up there too. Sorry about that, back end. Let's get that up there real quick. Yeah, I can just go through a few of my alerts if you like, and you can see what 0.31 on Swiss is. Stubborn thing. 0.31. Okay. Long Swiss GPY for 0.311. Enter. Did my thing freeze up? What the heck's going on here? Is our chat not working?
No, it's working for me.
Oh, I think I clicked on something else. I clicked on new chat by mistake. Okay.
Gotcha.
So now, just looking at let's go back to gold real quick because I just want to show the top setups I'm currently keeping an eye on. And just a quick look at the surprise meter. Whoa, that's big. So we still, and I can't remember if this was the same when you and I were on Quiet Markets 2 nights ago or not, but believe it or not, the dollar is actually the strongest out of all the 8 major currencies right now. When you're looking at economic outperformance / underperformance. I don't know if we talked about this or not, but last week the dollar was in the gutter with the Swiss franc because the Swiss franc was only like they were at only at like a 17%. So just for anybody in the chat, what this means is for any of these percentages you see on all these currencies, including the global average currency, that basically says that of all the recent economic reports, CPI, PPI, interest rates, job data, inflation data, et cetera, the dollar, as an example, has beat expectations on only 44% of them. Pound, 40%. The worst performing right now is Canada. They've only beat expectations on 13% of their projections, right? The economists forecast a number for the GDP release, like what we had today, the retail sales, things of that nature. These are all low scores, is what I'm getting at. So this is what you call economic underperformance, just like it shows there. It just doesn't look too good. And then you look at the world average, 32%. That's the lowest I've ever seen it since I've had this rhythm, since I've had this, this way of tracking all this info. But it's just, when you see stuff like that, no wonder gold and silver are flying to the moon, right? So just something I thought I would update everybody on. But yeah, Canada is now the lowest, and then believe it or not, the dollar is leading at only 44%. It's just pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Well, what does that mean? Because I do see we have a couple new names in here. If I just copy and paste the US heat map, and then I'm going to do the same thing for Canada's heat map since it's the worst performing. We'll take a quick look at that and get out of my way. I got to get something out of my way. And you'll see and understand why it is that way. I'll just leave that here like that. So here's Canada. Well, number one, let's just look at Canada for a quick second. Okay.
Yeah.
You have one report that beat expectations, and that was all the way back on September 2nd for Canada, right? That benefited their currency and their stock market, right? That's it. Other than that, every freaking thing else has been bearish, including the 2 reports we've had in the last 7 calendar days, which is always going to be an orange or yellow or whatever color that is. Am I colorblind? Is that orange? Yellow orange. I'll call it yellow.
Yeah.
Yellow orange. Yeah, that sounds good. So yeah, when you look at the currency impact, it's just been horrible, right? Canada's just they ain't looking so good. Now, prior to a week ago, the dollar was the worst, but since last week, we've had nothing but good reports for the dollar. Okay, we've had today. Today's 25th, right? Yeah. Today we had an awesome GDP number. Okay. Previous was only a minus 0.5. They forecasted a positive 3.3, and we shot that out of the water with a 3.8%. So that's a strong GDP number. So despite all the craziness, people are still going out spending their money. Right?
Right.
Just doing that. So, and then the other thing was the jobless claims. So last week was 232,000. The week before, for anybody that would remember, that was a 264,000 number after they revised it up 1,000. So that one was just a disgusting number. Now, last week was a good number as well, but today was even better. Okay, forecast 235 only came in at 218,000. So that's less people on unemployment, which means more people making money at a job, which means more spending into the economy, right? So So this has been a couple really good reports. Now this is all growth. Well, this was obviously a growth metric. These were already bullish numbers from the previous releases, so that's why nothing changed as far as the speed gauge, because it was 44% even before this, right? But then those reports came in, which was bullish, just like the last one. So that's why the speed gauge stayed the same. So when you look at growth numbers, same thing, looking really strong on the growth numbers. It's just the inflation and the jobs numbers, which are in the dumps right now. Now, the jobs was at 0 as well. But then, of course, last week and this week, we had a better than expected jobless claims number, right? So yeah, it actually got a small bump up to 25%. But you can see the other jobs reports, the JOLTS, the ADP, the non-farm, they've all been recently horrible numbers, September 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So it'll definitely be interesting to get the more updated numbers of that when they come out, and then find some piece of good news in inflation somewhere. We could do that. We'd have a little bit better look at the currency itself. But as it stands right now, it's still pretty stuck in not so great. But ironically enough, it's leading the 8 majors at only a 44%. So that's kind of where we're at right now. That's why you kind of read off, the other currencies not doing so good compared to the dollar, because they've all just kind of went downhill. So, and then what are we left with for the rest of the week? Well, tomorrow we do have this PCE. This is the Federal Reserve's favorite gauge of inflation right here. So perhaps we get a little bit of a relief there. I mean, the previous number was a 0.3%, and then we are expected to get a 0.2%. So, we'll know a lot about a little bit more tomorrow, if that's a proper phrase to use.
A lot about a little bit. Yep.
Not a little bit as
exactly.
far as inflation, but so that would so that's obviously going to be the big prize tomorrow, along with Canada's GDP numbers. So, but yeah, just looking at today, I mean, great numbers across the board. Okay, GDP, unemployment, pretty good week, pretty good 2 weeks for the U.S. dollar, right? Including last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, because last week we had the what was it?
Sorry, you go.
No, I was just gonna say last week. What was it last week? Yeah, the retail sales was last week. Yeah, that was 3x the forecast at a 0.6. And then also, what was the other report? Well, the CPI. No, it wasn't the CPI. Something else. I can't remember what it was, but that's now 2 weeks in a row with good U.S. data. So does this trend continue next week? We shall find out. Sorry, what was you going to say now?
Yeah. My ES trade, my short ES, immediately got whipped out, and I lost 150 on that. So my gains, my $126 in gains, got wiped out. I'm negative $40 now, actually, because I actually just got into I longed gold now instead of being short. I'm long gold. I'm long one mini, actually, instead of even doing micros. I'm going long the one mini here. Things are a little bit rocky. This could either the bullish kind of delta that I've been seeing pop up here could just fizzle out, and then we could just drop lower, or this could really pop up. So I'm like kind of close to being stopped out at the moment, but you never know with gold. Honestly, it looks okay, but I definitely am on the verge of being stopped out at the moment. Yeah, it looks like it might happen. So close. Just put me out of my misery. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of gold, yeah. In hindsight, that would have been a great zone to get into right there. That's when I was grocery shopping. I missed out on this one. Dang it.
Oh, yeah.
That momentum leg out,
I mean,
broke a high, closed above a high, came down lazily, which is nice to see after a strong move up. So this is what we were talking about last week, Coach Tony and I was kind of talking about momentum for anybody in the chat. This is something that I don't think is talked about near enough, is momentum, right? Like for me, when I trade supply and demand zones, this is what I like to see. This is exactly what I like to see. A strong move out, like as straight up or parabolic as absolutely possible. And then on the retracement leg or the return leg, make it be nice and slow like this, because that shows that the buyers are fighting the sellers harder than the sellers were fighting the buyers over here on this up move. So, you got the buyers stepping in. That makes it to where it's a little bit softer landing on the zone itself, right, to collect those orders.
Mm-hmm.
And then not only that, but you got this liquidity under here from these people buying here and buying here, right? There's sell orders they're sell order stop losses there that are used as fuel. So yeah, that would have been a great one, but I was out buying my Scooby snacks for the week, so I missed out on it.
Yeah. I'm going to be keeping an eye on gold. That's for sure. I'm just going to be keeping an eye on gold here and probably getting in and out of gold trades relatively quickly. I did just get long gold again because it looks like it like stop hunted me and then essentially was like, just kidding. And then started to go back up here. So I'm giving it another stab. We'll see what we can do here. Got some money to make back. So let's do it. Come on. Get going.
Like it wants to break up a little bit, doesn't it? Woo. That was a good sneeze. Let's see. 15 minute demand. Yeah, I mean, I was kind of looking at this 15-minute demand all the way down here this morning. So I was initially interested in this area because we did get a little bit higher high, higher low. And price came down, hit my alert, but then it didn't actually touch the zone. So it actually missed it by a couple pipettes. And then just decided to go on. Yep. So it's technically still live. I guess I should put my alert back on it. I just realized that. So because I was sitting there watching. Of course, that So it's funny because that alert hit. Let me get this on real quick. After I had kind of, fumbled the ball whenever I deleted my stop loss, right? So I deleted my stop loss like I was talking about. Where the hell was that? Yeah, up in this area somewhere. So I had that alert down there, and I was annoyed with it. I'll be honest. I was annoyed with it. Like, I don't even want to touch gold. So calm down now. It's quiet markets. I took a hot shower. Right? Got all my Scooby snacks. Ate well. So now I can reapproach gold with a little bit of love this time. So I'll keep an eye on it. I'll put give me some type of manipulation in this area.
It's toying with me though as well. It's definitely toying with me as well though. So I mean, right now, like it was looking very good there to make the breakout move, and then right at the top of right at the 37.72.5 area, it just gave up again, and we just came back down. I've got my stop lower here, but I'm definitely going to be looking to maybe add to my position another contract. Yeah, exactly. Like it really looked like it was going to give a good run to the upside there, and then all of a sudden, boom, right back down. So I don't know. The sellers probably still have some sort of control if we can't even break out of that little range there, unless we show some pretty good support right here, right now.
Yeah. For 4 hour, 1 hour, 15 minute, it seems like the RSI is below 50 on all of them. So it feels like that they are in control a little bit for what that's worth. Daily though is looking good, but we're obviously looking on a smaller time frame. So 4 hours under 50, 1 hour is under 50, 15's under 50. Yeah, they're all down here.
It's trying
for what that's worth.
Come on.
Yeah. But I want to buy gold too, but I want to see a divergence, a little bit of an RSI divergence, a little bit lower.
All right. We're breaking. We just broke upwards here. So
there you go. There's your high coming up. And
come on. Go. Don't it just where's the volume? All right, there we go. Come on,
There you go.
keep
You're
going.
ahead now. There it goes.
Let's okay, yeah. Now you just keep. Now this is where you just make the run. Just make the run. Okay, cool. Good, good, good. Make the run. Should have gotten long another contract there. Uh, that's
See, and I'm
okay
not
though.
quick enough on the other freaking platform. Otherwise, I'd join you.
Hey,
You do it on
dude,
my
you know
cash.
it's these are yeah, these are so quick. It is ridiculous how quick you have to be with this the volatility right now. I mean, I just moved my I just got basically $2 in the money here, or $2 per troy ounce in the money, and I just moved my stop up to break even. But I could get whipped out easily. I feel like it could definitely happen, but I don't want to risk any more than I really need to, especially when there's such volatile moves to the upside and downside. Like if the move's going to happen, a lot of the time, I just feel like I'm going to take whatever the move gives me. That's like just like that exponential move that you were kind of talking about earlier. Whether it's to the downside or
Yeah.
upside, I'll take whatever that is, and if it doesn't give that to me, then fine, I'm out for scratch essentially. But when it does go, man, is it nice. Jeez Louise. Come on. Let's go. Come on, buyers. Just step up here. You had a little bit of
Meanwhile,
consolidation there for that last minute, but a lot of volume came
mean,
in and we weren't able to dang. Come on.
meanwhile, all I
Come
need
on.
Swiss franc to break that high so I can move my stop loss up. Break
Stopped
that
out
white
for
line.
$10. Jeez Louise.
$10. Let's see
That's
here.
not gonna do.
Not going to pay the bills very well.
No, no, definitely not.
Hey, a couple cheeseburgers. There. There you go.
Yeah, yeah. Well, not when you're down 280 already. Right now, I owe McDonald's cheeseburgers at the
Oh, you.
moment, so I need to be I need to be I'm washing dishes in the back right now for them.
Yeah.
Would be the analogy. So I
What's
need
going
to
on,
step this up
Giannis?
here.
Smile's in a sell position. What do you want to sell position with, Smile? Is it gold or is it something different? Let us know. Would love to take a
Yeah,
peek.
yeah.
Take a peek at the chart. Yeah, gold. Okay. Yeah, let's go back to
Very
gold real
nice.
quick. Let's see here. Sell for the past 2 hours. Did you what time frame do you use? Do you buy sell off support resistance, supply and demand zones like me? Like, what's your method? Just kind of curious on that, like the execution
He's been
time
in
frame. But
he's been in some chop. If it's been for the last 2 hours, he's definitely been dealing with
yeah,
some chop. So good on you for your keeping your stomach
yeah,
in
head and
check
shoulder one
there.
hour time frame.
Smile.
Okay, gotcha. You doing something like this here, something like that. I'm assuming. Let's go ahead and make that a little brighter, thicker. Something like that, I assume. Head and shoulder 1 hour time frame. Yep. There you go. Yeah, I mean, assuming that's the one you're talking about. Yep. So let me ask you this: like, what would make you? Are you just selling the rounding of the shoulder itself? Like it turns around, and then you just sell from that point. I'm assuming,
Mm.
because I mean that's one way to do it. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't really trade this very often, but I guess kind of the normal thing is to wait until you get a break of the neckline, right? Of course, that's always
You know
subjective. How
what's
do you want to draw that? Maybe
you
you
know
look at
what's
the
funny
bodies themselves.
about yeah,
What's
yeah,
that?
exactly. Yeah, and it can be subjective like that, right? Like the
Right.
neckline can be a little slanted one way versus the other way or whatever. But you know what's funny is smile. I tend to trade a lot of inverted head and shoulders patterns versus just regular old, just traditional head and shoulders. For some reason, I mean, not for
Yeah.
some reason, equities markets are generally bullish. I mean, historically speaking, we're more long than we are short in general. So it would make sense to see like inverted head and shoulders more often. But on the intraday time frames, I'll see inverted head and shoulders somewhat frequently. So that's funny. I didn't see that head and shoulders are on the 1 hour time frame for gold.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Well, I mean, I can't say I dislike that smile because like I'm bullish gold, but there's no way in hell I'm trying to buy it up in this area because I need it to drop down to this demand zone at best for me. So yeah, the way I see it, man, I would say you got at least until like the 37.20 area, right? I mean, I don't see this as being much of a threat. Let me just get rid of my drawings here. Well, let's just do this. Get rid of that drawing there. I don't see this being much of a threat as far as a turnaround point because, obviously we have a demand. Now, I would be aware of this demand zone right here. Now, just aware of it, meaning, yeah, I could see a little bit of a bounce off of it, but not even this I'm not too worried about because when this demand zone formed, okay, it pushed up, but then it got lazy and went sideways before it even closed even this nearest swing high, which wasn't that far away. So it eventually basically rally, base, rally, right? Well, the second rally was the strong leg initially. But even at that, it wasn't even strong enough to close above the head, obviously, right? Which is why it turned into the shoulder. So, yeah, I'm not really worried about this area. I mean, I could, if I just redraw what I'm looking for, if I'm trying to get into this trade for a long. Dang it, I did that yet again. Accidentally deleted my my order block tool, my supply and demand tool. It always does that. It always defaults to 12. Show me 12 supply and demand zones. I just want two. Because otherwise it scrunches the screen up too much, right? So anyway, back to what I was saying. I could definitely see price. It's going to react some way, shape, or form off of this. Now, I don't think it's going to be enough to do a whole lot of damage. It might be something like this. But I would welcome that because ultimately I want to see price come down and form a little bit of a double bottom and then bounce back up and then drop into my zone for a buy to the long side. That's ultimately what I'm looking at because let me just go back to the 15. Because, yeah, if you got a double bottom like this and then price comes up, let's just say it comes up a little higher. Well, then, and it just kind of bounces off the old zone. Well, now you got more liquidity. You got double bottom. What's under double bottoms all the times? Most all the times, liquidity. So there's sell orders down here waiting on, ideally, the banks to come down to take the liquidity. And they got to fuel their orders. Banks can't get into their orders without liquidity unless they want to move the market and spike it way out of what they want to pay for, right? So, so yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Make a double bottom, confuse traders, lock in the liquidity, plus you got unfilled order potential from the zone itself, and then buy to the long side. But yeah, I've got no interest in buying anywhere in this area, not till we get to that demand. So I think you got a pretty good shot at least getting down there. But once you get down there, I would at least be wary of that area because it very well could retrace and go the other way because gold is given a nice, obviously, pretty bullish signal to buy, in the long run. I mean, gold is a +5, it looks like. So it's not the strongest bullish signal, but it's a bullish signal nevertheless. Now, tomorrow, I'll be interested to see how the COT report shapes out, see what the banks and institutions did with gold, because that'll go a long way to – well, actually, so we actually have a +2 score even from this last report. So anything less would put it back to neutral, right? If they didn't increase their longs like last week, then gold could potentially go to neutral for a while because, again, the dollar is doing so well the last 2 weeks. Dollar gold typically have that inverse relationship. So, yeah, that's the lowest I've seen gold in months, +5. mean, that thing's been plus 10 and plus 15 and all that for 3 months now. Ever since
That's the
Liberation
truth.
Day, to be honest. Some way, shape, or form. The tariff day.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the weakest strong bullish. This is the weakest bullish signal I've seen on gold in a while.
Well, yeah, it's probably, I mean, it just has made such a move at this point. It's like 10% in the last, what, month and a half or whatever, or month. It's just,
yeah. I mean,
at some point, you're like, yeah.
I mean,
so,
you know, we were all moaning and complaining, me included, when price was in this.
Yep.
Let's go. Me included, because we wasn't breaking out of this dang zone. This blue, these two blue rectangles that I put on here, probably around here. We had that little triple top. We had this 1, 2, 3 points. I didn't really factor this part in here. I just kind of looked at these three main areas. I'm like, are we ever going to get the hell out of this area? And then we finally on a Friday, 2 days after my birthday, I finally got my birthday present 2 days late. Right?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Closed Friday for the first time above that area, and then it's just been off to the races ever since. So, yeah, anybody trying to short the market long term, this is a graveyard, right? This is a graveyard. Every pullback is a graveyard. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Right? Could this be a potential rest in peace? Wouldn't surprise me. Trend is your friend until the end in the end. So just be careful. If you're shorting it, Smile, yeah, just be careful, because when you look at this thing, you know, especially over the last month, I mean, this thing's just been parabolic. So if you're going to take a short on it, that's the only reason why I say just be careful, because, you know, by the time you get down to one of these demand zones, it could potentially take you the other way. Because I'll be honest, I'm waiting to buy it down here. Right. So just be aware of it. That's all I ask. Anytime you guys and gals get into a trade, always look above or below if you're shorting, to make sure you're not about to butt up against a zone like this. Mm-hmm. And if you are, then just make sure and trail your stop. That way you at least log in some gains, because it very well could continue to go down and then just go all the way through, right? It very well could. But you will get some type of bounce. Now, whether or not it's going to be a strong enough bounce to turn it around, that's a different story. But supply and demand zones usually always at least get some type of little bounce, some type of little correction, because there are always supply and demand. There are always unfilled orders in these zones. So those orders have to get used or absorbed. Okay, they have to. Now, again, it's just a matter of how many are left over from the move. That's always the question. That's always the calculated risk, because I don't know. Anytime I get into a supply or demand zone trade, I don't know if it's going to have enough room to push it to the opposite zone. You know, you don't always know that, but you just kind of got to look at the momentum on this thing, right? Yeah. You had a temporary battle of buyers and sellers. Well, demand exceeded supply, clearly, because price had to go up and find supply. It goes up and finds supply up here and just kind of bounces around, ping pongs. So if demand exceeded supply, there's probably still going to be some demand down here when price returns. So just keep that in mind. You know, you could get a return down. Gosh dang it, I'm trying to grab the one. You know, you could get something as small as this, or you could get something as big as this, like what I'm looking for in this buy order, right? So we just don't know how big this move right here is going to be. And again, it very well could just break through, like I put here. But before it breaks through, you know, is it just going to barely come up a little, or is it going to come up a lot? Which is what I'm betting on. Right? I'm betting on that move. That's the yellow move I drew out, because I feel like there's going to be some pretty strong buying in there because of the momentum coming out. And of course, you know, the number one thing I'm paying attention to right now is just making sure that when this leg down bears fruit, I want to make sure it comes down fairly lazy rather than straight down like this move back here, right? I don't want to see this move. If I see that move, I'm getting out of the way of the freight train, right? Just the same as if you're selling, You'll want to make sure and at least trail your stop, because if you have a lazy leg coming down, right, this leg right here is a screamer, and that's probably going to overpower it. So because that's high momentum, this would be low momentum. Okay, 45-degree angle. In fact, I have a little. I actually got a little sign. Reduce speed ahead. Yeah, I'm actually going to copy and paste this real quick, just as a joke.
I am short one ES and one gold contract at the same time, actually, right now. Just for a quick little interjection here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of liquidity that popped up on gold below the 37.66 area and the 37.61 area on the futures here. So looking for a pretty large downside move to eat up all that liquidity, hopefully in the next 20 minutes or so. But yeah, so got that short, got a pretty wide stop loss, about $300. So on the gold there, 300, so that'd be $3 an ounce stop loss. Looking to try and make $7 an ounce essentially. And then on the ES, I'm short at 66.58, looking for a move down to like 66.54 or so. Just a little dip there in the ES. Not looking for too much, so would be nice if you'll cooperate to ES and NASDAQ. If you can help the ES out a little bit and go down pretty quickly, that would be great. Would love it. Absolutely would love it.
That would be great. Here, I like this sign better. This is my way of telling price. You need to reduce your speed, because if you don't reduce your speed, I'm ignoring you. I'm going to give you a ticket. Okay? If it comes down like this, it's getting a ticket. If it comes down like this and listens to my sign, then I'll be happy and I'll place the trade. If it comes down like this, then smile. You may not have anything to worry about other than that slight little pullback, right? So that's my reminder before I go and try to buy this. Okay, did it reduce its speed? If so, I'll buy it. All right. What else was I looking at, boss? NASI dropped into a daily demand. What do we got over here? Pretty high on the curve. I can see that already. I don't think I had a really good. Okay, so yeah, I've got a 1 hour zone, or I guess it would be 15-minute zone. Yeah, I got a smaller time frame zone here, clear at the bottom. It's actually a 5-minute, but yeah, still got a ways on that. Still got a ways to wait on that one. Just waiting for this alert down here. Not interested in buying the daily. Go back to a 1 hour here.
Yeah.
Silver, yeah, it's got a mind of its own. It looked like it was trying to form a little bit of an upside down cup yesterday, but obviously with the the London Open, it just kept going up ever since London Open. 2 a.m. Central my time. Came up, retraced, went up. Like you were talking about at the start of the show. Yeah, it just flew. It absolutely flew. I saw that this morning on Forex Fire. I'm like, holy cow. And that was actually that's why. Partly why. So yeah, Switzerland actually had their policy rate decision come out, and they kept rates the same. It was a big nothing burger, but yeah, gold, silver, I noticed kind of picked up ahead of time.
Yeah. Also, when there was that headline regarding Russian fighter jets, over like, I don't even remember. It was like Alaska or something. And then like Europe was saying that there was a headline about a private discussion about Europe would take action against any fighter jets of their fighter jets or whatever. Like gold started like ripping the minute that headline came out. I actually got in on a little trade there right off that headline. But yeah, kind of crazy. So that's where like headlines and whatnot can really pan out like well if you are quick. If you're quick and you can play the headline get in on trade, then awesome. But
Yeah.
yeah, this gold trade is going against me here again. We did not end up breaking through to try and get through that liquidity. We are kind of rebounding, showing some support at previous lows in this overnight session here, and it's being a little tough. It's being a little tough at
Being
the
a mule,
moment.
being a mule,
Definitely.
stubborn mule.
That's definitely the case. For sure.
Stubborn mule.
Come on.
Man, I tell you what, well, no, I just don't like that one. I need to delete this so I don't get tricked into buying that demand. Well, I was liking it because it looks nice from this point of view, the strong momentum, and awesome that it's coming down lazily. I like that, but yeah, I'm just going to wait because this is the stronger zone anyway down here. Stay away from the higher one, Tiger.
Yeah.
Footsie is, it fell off. Man, I swear these things jump on and jump off my list so fast at times. Yeah, the footsie was on there. The United Kingdom was up there this morning, but it's already fallen off my list. Let's see, where is that? I'm still going to keep an eye on it. I tell you what, I don't really care. It's at a -3 now, but as long as it doesn't flip bullish, I'm still going to take a stab at this zone because, I mean, this is pretty much one of my favorite setups. You got the 4-hour demand inside of a daily. I'm sorry, you got a 4-hour supply rather inside of a daily supply with a very strong momentum down move. That's awesome. That's awesome strength right there. So I'm probably still going to take a stab at it. Now the question is, I probably won't put a full position on just because the fundamentals have shifted just a little bit. But -3 is better than a +3, right? At the end of the day, and it's a higher time frame, so I'd be okay with that. Quite often, these things like to flip on and off the neutral list / bullish bearish list. Sometimes a couple times, 3 times a day, just depending on the littlest changes in things. You know, in some of the world currency reports and things, economic reports, which is partly why I was talking about this. You know, at the outset of the show about learning other markets to trade. Well, if you're trading a New Zealand Swiss franc pair, right, the dollar is going to affect it. Even if you're trading dollar yen and you have a big report out of Europe or the UK, it's going to affect the dollar and the yen. So little things like that, which constantly happen because of the economic calendar, constantly are changing this dynamic list. So what's a +5 right now may be a +3 neutral, you know, by the time I wake up for Forex Fire in the morning, or vice versa. Earlier, because earlier in the week I got into a New Zealand dollar long trade, thinking it was still long, but I forgot everything had shifted. So it went from a +6 to a -6 just in the span of like 3 days, 3-4 days.
Oh, dang.
So it's a very, very dynamic list. So yeah, it could be, you know, it's nice when you see something pop on the bullish list, but it's even nicer when it's something like gold and it's been on that list for 3 months, because that just makes it even more of a brainer. Like, oh, just buy the dips, keep buying the dips, keep buying the dips. So kind of hit or miss. So that's why and that's why it's nice that we have a history tab on this algorithm. I can look at any asset, any currency, any gold, silver, whatever, and it'll show me a chart of every individual day of the week, and it'll show what the score is with a kind of a chart of its own. So I can look and see, okay, if this thing have a history of being bullish for a minute, 5 minutes, going neutral, or vice bearish, whatever the case is, to be able to establish trends, to establish a trade of at least that day, that amount of time, or at least knowing I can if I want to. Now, obviously, geopolitically, I've got no interest right now in holding trades open over the weekend because you never know what the hell's going to happen. The wars and the tensions and tariffs and all that. But anyway,
don't need all that risk. Don't need all that risk. Like you could have 100 positive trades in a row, and then be open to that kind of risk overnight. And if you don't, and you could just blow it all essentially, especially if like it's a situation in the futures where, it's one thing it doesn't matter if you, for example, if you get into like a futures trade and then you hold it over like the weekend or what have you, you can gap down. Like there's gap downs that occur. So it doesn't matter that you have like a stop
No.
loss in place or whatever. Like if you have a stop loss in place, like good. But then if something was to happen over the weekend and let's say you were long and then it gapped down or gapped up, just if you were short and it gapped up, or if you're long and it gapped down,
Yeah.
you're just going to get filled at whatever the best price is at that point, and that could be just detrimental. I mean, it could be apps, and I don't know how it necessarily is with the Forex stuff, but like that's the holding over the weekend kind of thing. That's very, or over, even with some markets holding things overnight, that can be just terrible.
Yep.
Even markets that specifically close, for a certain period of time, for settlement, whatever. Like some of the ag stuff, they don't trade 24 or 23 hours a day or whatever. They only trade for the 9 or 8 hours a day, and then they have a close, and then they open up the next morning or whatever. And there can be big gap downs or gap ups, and then to put it lightly, you're kind of screwed,
Yeah.
regardless of how your risk management is. So
Here's a perfect
yeah.
example right here. Perfect example. Euro Swiss. When the Swiss franc decided to, this is January 15th of 2015. Ironically, I was in my Forex Academy class when this happened. So this is when Switzerland pulled the plug, or pulled their peg on the dollar. They depegged from the US dollar. And as soon as they did that, the Euro Swiss, in one day, this is a daily time frame, in one day they dropped 2,270 pips from the open to the close.
Jeez, man.
Now, at one point, they were at 2,359, but yeah, 2,270 pips. So, yeah, almost a 20% decline, right? So this is everything Paul just explained. This is where this is why you don't want to do that, because you don't want a chance being on the wrong side of something like this, even with a stop loss.
Yeah.
I mean, if I were
yeah.
I mean, this was just a ridiculous move. There's your average daily candles for that period, and then you go from that. Somewhere down here. Where's it at? Okay, I'm tired of scrolling. Let's zoom in. All right. Bam. That's what you call oogle.
Imagine being short into that, though. Imagine the people that were short into that.
Yeah.
They were and with no target profit, like set or anything. Gee, like those people were, I mean, the exact opposite situation where they're just like thanking, everybody and everything for what has happened. But
all the different,
but yeah, the risk isn't worth it. Like regardless, the risk is not worth it. Unless, if you're a larger institution, there's a difference. If there's like hedging purposes for being in larger positions over, obviously, and all that, stuff. But yeah, for us retail traders, no thanks. No, thank you. No sleep narrator. Good to see you. Good to see you in the chat again. Weather's good. I mean, weather here is muggy and hot, but at least it cools down a little bit at night. The humidity stays, but not too shabby. Can't complain.
Good stuff. I was trying to see if I could find that on like a smaller time frame, but I think it's too many candles back. Okay, so there's an 8-hour chart. That's about the best I could come up with. Yeah, so in 8 hours, it was 8 hours was 1,780 pips, and then the next 8 hours, Yeah. I do remember making some money on this trade because we were in class and they said, whatever you do, don't trade it. Like we came in, it was pretty close to the start of our day or start of our class too. And the guy, our instructor came in, he said, oh my gosh, we got to jump right straight onto something I just read. And then he started reading off the news about the depegging of the dollar. And then we all went to the chart and it was just screaming down. So that was, I think, in the early couple days of the class. So, I mean, we'd already learned how to put in an order, market order, stop loss and all that. So I ended up catching this on the way down for a way, not knowing what the heck I was doing, of course, because that was still
Right.
the first couple. But yeah, I guess you could say that
Man.
my first trade, the depegging of the Swiss franc or the dollar.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I have a relatively good example. It's hard to show though. So I would have to take a picture of it and stuff because it's on a third-party website.
Yeah. Do you want to flip to your chart? I gotta make a quick run to the loo.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Sure, of course.
Backhand, if you can
switch to
flip
mine.
it on over. Flip it on over. Flip. I need this to go and break that high so I can move my stop loss a little higher. Come on. Just go up this way.
Come on.
Go up here. Go up there.
Production, whenever we can move over to my chart, we can do that now, and that would be good. I'm still in my gold short, and I'm still in my ES short. The ES short's not panning out very well again, but the gold one is trying to. It's trying to work, but man, we are not doing so hot here. All right, there we go. I got a terrible fill on my gold short. But yeah, I'll see you in a minute, Tiger.
Okay.
You can take off real quick. So chat, I'm in my gold short at the moment. Again, I'm looking for I'm gonna put some zones here with a little square. The whole thought is there a bunch of liquidity popped up here that I'm looking to be taken out, and then more importantly, there's more levels. So 65 or 60, and actually 66. There's another decent bit of liquidity right there. And then all the way down at 61, this is where my target profit is. That's the one that I'm really looking for. I'm looking for a quick breakdown, eat up all this. There's probably about 250 contracts through 3766. Eat through that, maybe take a small break, and then just jump down to 3761, where the most liquidity is at the moment on a single price level. So that's kind of the thought. Just be the hunter of liquidity, essentially. But you never know. We could also just find support off of this area, bolt back up before actually finally eventually coming down to take up all this liquidity. But let's hope that we are getting the timing right on this, and we can eat up the orders now, eat up those bids now. See sellers eat them up. Come on. And then on the ES, I'm also in the ES trade here. I got in at not the greatest price either on this, but we've got a relative kind of trend going on at the moment, or channel, I should say.
Just eat it. Eat it.
Within this channel, I'm just keeping my stop up here to give it a little bit of room. I'm probably going to get into one more contract, if I'm being honest. If we get back up to the 66, 61 price area right there, if we can wick up there, I will get into another one. But let's see what the gold trade's doing at the moment, because this one seems to be more on the precipice of whether or not it's going to be supported or we're going to break. So Come on, shorts. Come on in. The water's warm. Let's make it happen, eh? Eh?
Here we go. Uh-oh. I found my man.
No sleep. Talking about the Gemini. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let it fly. Let it fly. What's the recommendation? No sleep. What's the recommendation?
Oh, dang! That moved. Did that move that fast?
Go. What are you looking at?
Oh no, pound. Well, look at it. Pound CAD. God, you dirty dog, you.
Dirty
Dirty
dog.
dog. Let me look at this again. Oh, well. Why is my alert coming in 2 hours late? You know, I've noticed that sometimes, and I got to figure it out on my trading views. Sometimes my alerts will come to me 2 hours late, 2 to 2.5 hours late. And I haven't figured that one out yet. I got to play around with my settings or something. Anyway. Why did that?
I have heard of App Love and No Sleep. I have heard of that actually. It's dang, I can't remember what they do. I just know that they're up some crazy amounts. Like general, let me do. Let me hold on. Let me quick look at this. Let's see. Building software-based platform for advertisers to enhance marketing monetization of their content. Oh, okay, that's okay. That makes sense. Classic out of Palo Alto. Totally makes sense. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I'll give it a look. I mean, it is up. It is up so much. What is it up? It's like up 400% in the last year. Like, I don't know. This might be one of those greater fool theory things where I don't want to be the greatest of the fools and buy it now. But but you know, I'll keep an eye on it. I'll definitely keep an eye on it for sure. I'll look into it more. No sleep. I'll look into it a little bit more. I mean, I'm not able to do a too much of a deep dive, but I definitely don't want to be the greatest fool. Let's put it that way. So, but yeah.
Is that a new hot stock or something? Apple.
I mean, like it's not new, but it's just made a big moves. You know, like it's kind of like. If you look, it's like similar to something like Palantir in the last couple of years or whatever, how much it went from, $10 or $20 a share to it's up at 180. I mean, it hasn't made that crazy of moves. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not the same. AppLovin didn't do the same thing, but it's 400% in a year. It's like, that's a big move. So
App on US. APPON US?
APP.
Tokenized. What's the ticker? Yes.
APP is the ticker.
Oh, there it is. Pyth. Okay. Well, would you look at that?
Now I can look at, let's see, maybe I can look at a chart here and glean a little bit more really quickly. Juggling two positions, looking at some stocks. I'm really doing the most right now. It's funny.
Well, there's a nice demand all the way down at 500 on App 11. That's just fun to say.
Right.
With a 4-hour confluence. Okay. 1-hour confluence. You got all the confluences right there in the $500 daily demand. I mean, I don't know anything about it, but if I'm just looking at the technicals on it.
Yeah. So I do real quickly have a good example of, I'm not going to show it on the screen, but I'm just going to explain it. A good example of what we talked about earlier with like gap downs and stuff if you were to look at like frozen concentrated orange juice, for example,
Uh,
futures, we saw like a gap down occur of like one day we close at 285 cents per pound, and then the next day we open up at 243 cents per pound. So that's 40 cents of movement. And it's not, there's nothing in between that, right? So it doesn't matter if you had to stop at
yeah.
270, doesn't matter because it
Yeah.
opened up at 242. So you're like,
Well,
that's
you have a
just all
lot
there
more.
is to it.
Yeah, in futures, right? It's not like Forex. Like you have a lot of gaps. You have to, like, there's not really any such thing as holding a trade overnight, right? Don't you have to close everything out at the end of the day?
Oh no, no, no! You don't have to. You don't have to close anything out or anything. You can. There are. I mean, there are plenty of people holding overnight and everything. I mean, there are
Oh,
people that they're hedging their portfolios via futures, and they're holding. It's a longer term hedge, and I mean, you've got commercial people, in the commodities spaces, you're holding thousands of contracts overnight for the sake of, hedge risk and everything. But, and big
yeah.
speculators as well will hold overnight. But that's just kind of the risk that occurs. It's more so the gapping occurs a lot more in like the more illiquid markets, of course. So the more illiquid it
Yeah.
is, the more you would see something like that that's super prone to like a crop report being negative or whatever, what have you, some weather events, all that kind of good stuff during like closed
Mhm.
hours, of course. When the markets aren't open and there's like a weather event, let's say, and stuff like that. So, uh, but yeah.
Have you ever got into that weather trading? I know some people trade the
Yeah.
weather.
Well, I mean, with the commodity that I traded, like that I was professionally trading, you had to be paying attention to the weather 24/7. So you had to know
Yeah.
what the weather was like in order to understand what the crop situation was looking like, and
Yeah.
essentially just
Yeah.
prepare yourself for a longer term issue from the supply side, because usually since the supply side is what is relatively gaugeable, like you can predict the
Right.
supply side. You can't really predict demand necessarily as much, but
Yeah.
so the supply side is usually what drives things. So yeah, got to be keeping an eye on the weather constantly for all the different ag crops, like for literally anything agriculturally related. You're looking at the weather patterns of over different regions, that produce that commodity the most and everything. So,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah. Supply is more important, I think, in a lot of things than just demand, right? The demand is one thing,
Yeah.
but you got to have the supply of something to have a demand of something. So yeah, it's all about supply.
Yeah. Man,
Think
this
about it.
this gold did not want to eat through it. Gold got supported right there at 37.68, and it is just, it's not playing along. It's not playing along with me. Come on.
Yeah.
What are
Yeah.
we doing?
Yeah. It's trying to form a double bottom, isn't it?
It is.
Ish. I mean,
I
it
mean,
looks even more
some would
flat on.
say,
Uh,
yeah, some would say a triple
I guess
bottom,
it's about the same. Triple. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just being more
Yeah.
negative because of this last wick that occurred at, what was that? 9:25. My goodness. Bad, bad,
Uh,
bad.
well, I mean, that triple bottom kind of opens up a little more interest in that one demand zone that I deleted earlier. The one that was
Yeah.
higher up from the 3 minute, because you got a lot of buy orders probably being dropped right in that demand zone. Buy orders from the
Hmm.
stop losses. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Sell orders. Sell orders. People are buying. They're putting their stop losses below. Buy opposite of buys a sell. So yeah, sell orders. I'm sorry. So all the sell orders that are needed to fuel buy orders. So things that make you go
Right where we just got to here in gold is like the turning point. If we don't resist here, I'm likely just going to get blown through, and just is what it is. This looks like it's gonna happen. The buyers look like they're gonna win.
And not even at
I
the
will
zone I
laugh if
wanted to. Come on, buyers. What are you thinking? Let Paul get his profit so he can go down to my demand zone. The higher quality.
seriously.
They're picking the junk quality. That's the problem.
We just got
Diddling in the
3
middle.
ticks away. Got 3 ticks away
Yeah.
from my stop there, and then we came back down $1, or actually came back down $1.50 there. Like,
Nope.
the whippiness is so funny, and then we're now back up. Like, all right, come on, just do it already. Do it. If you're gonna do it, just do it.
Unless they just swept that little bit of liquidity at your 2205 area.
This ES trade is also not looking the greatest. Get in long, one more there. Or get in short, I meant one more there.
Ooh, Bitcoin dropped all the way through that daily demand. Good. I didn't like it anyway. It was diddling in the middle. Awesome. I can delete that. I'm still waiting on 100,000 Bitcoin. Come on now. You could do it. Come on down. You don't need to be up there. You're too pricey. You're too expensive. I don't want to pay that much for crab legs. I want discount. Well, I mean, not only is the 100,000 obviously a psychological number that everybody in the world is probably paying attention to, and their grandmother and their grandmother's dog and their dog's best friend, the little bird, the parakeet, the cage above it, right? Everybody's watching 100K, but I'm watching it because not only that, but you got a 4-hour demand zone down there, and you got that inside of a daily demand zone. So you got all kinds of confluence down there. You got all kinds of acceleration gaps coming out of those zones. What else can I find here? Yeah, there's gaps no matter how far down I go, and it's at the low end of the curve. The big curve that starts basically on June 22nd until the peak. So that was the peak, and then the peak high around August 15th. Basically, looking at that as the curve. So that's at the very lower end of the curve. I want it. Yo quiero 10 millón. Wait, no. 100 millón. Is that right? 100 mil. Sorry. 100 mil. I think.
I wish I could tell you if you were right or not. I wish I could.
Mil, yeah, 1,000 is mil, yeah. So 100 is 100.
Gotcha.
100 mil. Yo quiero pagar 100,000 para el Bitcoin. Yeah, that doesn't pay 100K, 100,000. Well, I've never the whole time I lived in Mexico, I never had to think that high or count that high. So I actually had to stop and think. Mil is 1,000, millón is million, billón, and then I don't know the rest. I don't know those twists.
Sure, Michael does. Sure, Michael could help us out.
Yeah. Well, I could count up to those numbers, but I'm a little slower. It just takes another half second to think. So my ex-wife is from Mexico. She's from 2 hours south of Mexico City, and she would always do her thinking in English, but she would always do her counting in Spanish. Like it was just quicker and easier for her to count in Spanish, but think in English. Yeah, because it'd always be kind of funny.
That's funny.
Should, or should be talking to somebody on the phone or something, talking English, but be counting on her fingers in Spanish. It's just the cutest thing.
Did you learn Spanish? Did you like pick up any from that, or
Yeah,
like were you
yeah.
casually fluent or whatever?
Well, I had a teacher when we lived in Mexico City. We moved there because she was actually transferred from the U.S. to Mexico for American Eagle Outfitters, the
Oh,
clothing brand. She was put in charge of overseeing the installation of the first stores, the first American Eagle stores in Mexico. And so Mexico City just
wow.
so happened to be the Perisur Mall. They're in the Polanco district, which is the west side of Mexico City. Super nice, super ritzy, and really, really nice area. Like you wouldn't think you're in Mexico City. It's a bunch of Russian architecture and safe. You can walk out in the middle of the night to the convenience store, and it's just like walking downtown Jacksonville or Kansas City. Like
Yeah,
it's pretty
yeah.
safe, right? So, but anyway, yeah. So she was in charge of that. Well, part of the package included spousal uh, free Spanish lessons, and so we had a teacher that would come every day to our apartment for about 4 hours every single day for like 4 months, I think it was, and yeah,
Dang.
she just taught me Spanish every day. So the first few weeks she would give instructions in English, and then after that there was no instructions in English. It was all Spanish at that point. So,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, I figured out past tense. I figured out present tense. I'm sorry, future tense, present tense. But I left to come back to the States to go back to work at that point because I was there for a nutrition business that I was a part of.
Yeah.
Really, I was what they call a regional director. I had a 250 person group organization. What I'm trying to say that I recruited for sales and distributorship, all that, customers. And so I was going to go there to establish the business there. But I
Hmm.
got some wrong info and there was a huge delay. So basically, I was there with nothing to do. That was the whole
Right.
reason part of the reason we decided to go. Number one, her job, but number two, I was going to be able to expand and grow the business down there. And so, yeah, I had the Spanish lessons and uh, yeah, I learned a lot. I mean, I was able to survive just fine down there. Like maybe not
That's
prosper
awesome.
because I wasn't 100% fluent, but everybody there loved that I tried. Like, this tall white boy down here speaking our language, we love it. Like even if I messed up a word or if I had to use Spanglish now and then, they understood. They're like, we love it. So yeah,
Yeah.
I was
That's what
definitely the
matters.
tallest guy down there. Everybody's so short down there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Compared
That's what
to
matters
six
is
foot.
the effort. I feel like anybody that's visiting a
They
country,
appreciated it.
yeah, exactly. Anybody visiting any foreign country, usually the local country, is like the people appreciate you trying, just giving it an effort.
Yeah.
At least you're attempting, you know. I think that goes for most countries, I'd say. It
Yeah. No, they
was fun.
appreciated it. It was good stuff.
It was funny
So
when I
yeah.
went to Japan and I was like learning a little bit of Japanese and trying to speak Japanese to like a waitress and whatnot. She was like just smiling like ear to ear, like
Yeah.
be like, oh my, like proud that I was like even that like I was saying some things right, even though I would have to ask her about like a certain word and how to say it or whatever. There was like, we actually ended up going to the same restaurant like 3 times and like just like to chat with her, essentially try to chat in Japanese a little bit, and then she would want to chat in English because she was trying to learn English. So I'm trying to chat in Japanese to her to learn more and be practice, and then she's trying to speak in English to us to learn English, and it was funny. It was pretty funny.
Yeah. I'm just catching up on some chat over here.
Oh, that's funny. No sleep. Yeah, I will say they do always yeah, I can see them responding in English kind of thing, for sure. Please, That's funny, man. I didn't run into that for some reason. That's funny though. Please just speak English. Sir, can you not speak Japanese, please? Oh man, that's so funny. Can you not try to do that? Appreciate it. I would laugh so hard. Holy crap. That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I tell everybody, you get a chance to go live abroad, just do it. That's even for a small time. It's good to
Yeah.
explore and open your horizons, expand your horizons. You really
Yeah.
appreciate what you got back home when you go abroad. I tell you, I wouldn't change living in Mexico City for 6 months for nothing. But it was weird. It was almost overwhelming coming back to the States because all of a sudden there was English everywhere on the billboards, on the signs. It was almost like it felt like getting a new prescription of glasses. Like you can see really, really, really well all of a sudden. That's kind of the way it felt. Like, oh wow, this is overwhelming. I don't need my glasses anymore. Because then
Yeah.
there you obviously signs everywhere.
I feel like um I feel like Spanish is like the one. I mean, I took classes in Spanish in high school
Yeah.
and whatnot and all that, and like, so like, yeah, do I know some words and stuff? Sure, but like, I couldn't, if I tried really hard, I could speak broken Spanish like to a degree, but
Yeah.
like I feel like it is one of the easier languages to learn. Like it wouldn't take too much effort if like you studied for a
Thanks,
year
Brady. Yeah.
consistently. Like I think you could do it. Like it's so there's no reason, especially for me, to not learn it because I live in Orlando and it's very like there's a lot of Latin based uh, uh, people that live
I
here,
don't even
and
know why I
like so
said
Spanish is like.
Jacksonville earlier.
Oh
Of
no!
course,
Well, because of because I'm a Jags fan, you know that. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Oh,
So
that's why.
it's
That's why.
yeah.
That's
So it made
yeah. That's
sense.
right.
And by the way,
Okay. Yep.
I'd probably feel safer if I was in your city, in that city in Mexico that you're talking about, them being in downtown Jacksonville. But that's a whole other topic that we can.
I know. That's what I've heard. Yeah.
But
Yeah. If you ever get a chance, yeah, just go to just go to just type in on YouTube. Just type in Polanco in Mexico City. There's people that have made
cool.
videos like walking up and down the sidewalks. You'll see all the super ritzy cafes, and I mean it's the best of the best. It's high end, meaning there's all the high end, Versace and Lamborghini and all those big names.
Wow.
Bulgari, like
Yeah.
big name. It's a really rich area. A lot of celebrities live there. A lot of soccer players live there. The professional
Ah,
soccer players. So yeah, it wasn't uncommon to bump into some of those people, at the time, which I didn't know who they were. So I could have just been bumping into a regular
mhm.
person for all I knew. Like, oh, hello. But no, it's a really nice, beautiful area, and they got a lot of nice parks, and they're on top of their shrubbery game and flowers. Beautiful. Oh, I miss it actually. I could go back.
Yeah. You always could. Always
Could.
could.
They got 3 bowling
The
centers
peso.
inside of the Polanco district. That's the other thing.
Dang,
So it's like the best.
dude. Bowl all you want, brother. That is you got choices.
Bowl Bahia, Bowl Polanco, yeah, a couple of them. And of course, I would go in there, and everybody was thinking I was a professional because they don't
That's
see too
funny.
many tall white bowlers that throw a hook come up in there. I had
Yeah.
like big crowds. I mean, I was just in there just scratching the itch. Not like it was a tournament or a league or anything. The whole crowd of people
Right.
behind me watching. Like, what are you guys looking at? Oh wait, I'm tall. I'm white. And I throw a hook, a big sweeping hook. That must be why.
Yeah. They're like, oh my god, this guy must be a famous bowler or something.
Yeah.
That's funny though. Like, I will say, Tiger, for two guys that decided to pick a sport to get good at, bowling might have been one of the worst ones in terms of like possible earnings potential if you were to become
Yeah,
professional. I mean,
unfortunately.
geez
Yep.
Louise, did we pick one of the worst ones?
I know. And I had every intention in my teenage years and my 20s, every intention to go pro, but and I wanted and I was on track to do it. And like very easily I could have got my pro card just because of my average and everything and
Dang.
some of the tournament finishes. But I didn't think I was up like I knew I was good enough to compete. Like I bowled the US Open, I bowled a couple other pro PBA tournaments, but
Wow.
I knew I could compete, but I didn't want to just compete. I wanted to be able to actually profit and make money off of it so that I'm not having to spend so
Yeah.
much money. That was the thing. Because the US Open entry fee by itself, when I went to the Wichita US Open, was $600 entry fee.
Yeah.
Plus
Yeah.
plus 3 nights of hotel because it's a 3-day event, 9 games each day. Like it's a marathon. But it was fun.
Yep.
I mean, I had a blast because I've got friends that are pros that would hang out with, but just the expense. By the time I got home, it was like $800-900. By the time
Yeah, man.
entry fee, hotel. I mean, the hotels. This is back. Hotels wasn't too bad back then. Yeah,
Right.
might as well say $1,000, $1,000. Just for one tournament, and that's right here in my own
Yep.
state. And then you go out of state and have all the gas and traveling fees and more hotels. Yeah, it's a pricey venture with such a very very small return. So yeah, you're 100%
Right.
right. So that's why I didn't pursue it to the fullest like I wanted to when I was a kid.
Yeah, man. When
But
I remember looking at like the top earnings for like or the top earners and it's like the top 10 and I was like, this is terrible. It was like the number
yeah,
one tournament. I think at the time it was Belmonte. He was the number one,
hmm
and it was like just over $100,000. And I was like, for being the best bull, like being the best at your sport in the world, and you're
yeah,
making like just over, like, are you kidding me? Like, you're literally the best, and you're only making
yeah.
that. Like, I mean, obviously he has sponsors and all that stuff too, but still,
hmm
kind of crazy to for your earnings to be that low, being the best.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. I mean, unless you're in the top 10, you're gonna definitely have to have a side business. Maybe you're a trade. There's a couple of them on tour that trade or just have a
oh wow,
business or have a ton of money in the bank because it's more a labor of love, overall. But again, yeah, the top 10, 10, 15 are making plenty to where they're comfortable. They're not having to worry about all the hotels and the entry fees, and that's the other thing.
Mhm.
Most of those sponsors cover entry fees on some of the top one bowlers, but yeah, you get a little further down
Yeah,
to the lower A list, the B list, you're spending money more than making money typically.
yeah, yeah,
But it's
definitely.
pretty.
No sleep. Yeah, I have heard about the snowboarding in Japan actually it being pretty crazy up in the north end there. Um, my my sister's friend actually uh, last year visited and went like on a 2 week trip doing a huge snowboarding thing. I'm not a snowboarder myself. I mean, when I was younger, I did up north when I lived up north, but nowadays, man, I'd just be hurting myself at this point. So, got to pick and choose what activities
Uh,
I'm participating at this stage of life. Unfortunately, as much as I think snowboarding is freaking cool, it's awesome. But yeah, I'm gonna save it for golf and whatnot, and hopefully not be hurt enough to not be able to play golf and whatnot. So, uh,
Actually, I'm just looking at the
all right.
PBA top earnings list. So yeah, Jason Belmonte third, 190,000. Andrew Anderson was second with 190,000. But the top guy, EJ Taggett, 437,000. So he actually made a nice chunk.
Yeah. So this, when I was looking, this was like again though, like when I looked at this back, it was like literally 10 years ago or so. So this, yeah, EJ Tackett's crazy.
Yeah, he's
He's been
really
on an
good.
insane run. But we won't talk about bowling in front of the chat because
You're right.
nobody else.
Yeah, we'll pull
I
everybody.
know you guys don't. Yeah, I was gonna say you guys don't know who EJ Tackett is, but he's uh, he's insane.
Yeah, he's a very, very insane.
He's so good.
And believe it or
So
not,
good.
just the last thing I'll say on it, believe it or not, I actually cranked my ball that hard as he throws, curves it, hooks it. Yeah,
that's awesome.
he's just a lot more accurate because that's his job, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I
of
can
course.
snap it,
Right.
hook it that hard, but my
The
measly
guy's
one night a week league, it's hard to stay on top of it like that.
he's a dang robot, dude. He's just a robot. You might as well just put a machine out there. And he reminded me of I'll stop talking after this, but he reminds me of like a more fit. It's so ridiculous, but I would always, you remember Wes Malott, like
Oh yeah,
Wes Malott when he was
the big
dominating at one
nasty,
point. Yeah, dude, and
the
he
big
used
nasty.
to
Yep.
like the domination that he had over that one period of time. Kind of reminds me of like what EJ's doing,
Yeah.
but EJ's doing it just ridiculously at this point. But yeah. Anyway, we do have an account to give away.
Oh yeah.
So I think we're going to do that now. We have a 5K Forex two-step challenge account, I believe, to give away here. So I think the production crew has already figured out a winner. I just need to make sure here that they are ready.
That awesome drum they have. It's a little extra. It's a little extra, and it cracks me up for some reason every time I hear it.
I haven't heard it yet, so maybe I'll hear it now. I haven't heard it yet.
Well, they do it on Forex Fire, so I would assuming they have the same drum, but it's just like it's obnoxious, and I love it.
Right. Yeah, that's great. Great. All right. So
get that.
The winner of the 5K Forex two-step challenge account is Phillips yours. Congratulations.
Phillips yours. The account is yours, Phillips yours.
The account is yours.
The account,
perfect.
Phillips yours. Good deal.
Awesome.
Congrats, Phillips. As always, there is a link on the Discord, and you can go follow that link. So let me just double check on my Discord. So you just go to Discord, you go under the announcements tab, okay, and then you'll see nice little hashtags there everywhere. You see there's one that says claim-giveaway. Claim-giveaway. And again, that's under the announcements tab. If you click on that, it'll give you all the instructions that you need for accepting and getting set up on your new account. So obviously our back-end team will help you with that. But yeah, you should get some information there. You'll get an email, all that fun stuff. And congrats, and some more congrats. How about that?
Yeah. Exactly. It's good to see. We haven't been able to give out, an account recently on the quiet market session, I think this week. So it's nice to be able to give one out today. We had chat show up today, and for chat showing up, we were able to give out an account. So we appreciate all of you coming in and chatting with us and, just being a part of this. And we appreciate the likes, and it really helps us, and it goes a long way. So if you haven't liked and subscribed, please do. Genuinely helps us out here, and so we can continue doing what we're doing, putting some trades on in the overnight session. Yeah, having a little bit of fun and chit-chatting while we do it. So
get some laughs, right? It's the best part to do in a quiet market because we're not drowning in trades, right? We try to get at least one or two up. But yeah, it definitely I love these sessions. I mean, I love them personally just because it's kind of a cool way to strategize for the next day because there's not always a ton of plays. I mean, gold moves pretty well for us. Silver moves pretty well for us.
Yeah.
And then, I'm paying more and more attention to some of the yen and Aussie and New Zealand pairs because they do the liquidity on those three currencies are obviously way better than the other five. being in that region, the Asian region. So it's been a blast, man. Working this session, working the European session in the morning, and just kind of seeing how all three sessions interact with each other. I mean, I've traditionally come from just the New York session. Didn't really do a whole lot in the Asian session, back in the day, just because I was always told, well, it's boring, it's quiet, it's not really worth it. So I didn't really ever pay attention to it, but digging into it this last couple months, there's hidden gems in here. It's just a matter of digging and finding liquidity.
Right. So no, I agree. And yeah, especially, with, like we said, like over the last couple weeks, just with at least with a product like gold that has shown so much volume, a ton of volume has come in. It makes our job a little bit easier for the overnight, because like we have a product that we can genuinely get in and out of pretty nicely and see some nice moves. Yeah, exactly. Focus on it a little bit. So it's been nice. We literally in gold just again, like while we were talking right before about 10:45 p.m. Eastern time, just right before then, we again tested this like 37.68 area to again be rejected and go to the upside. It is just, sellers are eating away at this level here. I'm going to delete these other boxes to not cause confusion, but
new lower low.
Sellers are, they're chipping away. Now this could generally be like a micro triple bottom of sorts. So
yeah. Well, now it's kind of presented a 1 minute supply, possibly. 5 minute supply. Got a little excited there.
Brother.
Just okay, 1 minute supply. What do you think? Pull the trigger or skip it? Lower low.
You going? I was gonna say, are you going? Would you be getting short, or what is that? What you're talking about? Getting short? Yep.
Yeah, short.
I don't blame you, man.
I'll draft it up. The question is whether or not I'll click the sell button.
Yeah. That's the thing, is like I genuinely think this is a short. It's just, again, my timing was bad. I had some bad timing, and I had some poor execution on my part, to be quite honest. I think the short is gonna pay off at some point. It's just when. I just don't know when yet. So
look at RSI real quick. We're at the low end. Yep. I think. Well, I got in, but I got a horrible fill.
Well, it's still not that bad, though. You still got a decent bit to go here.
Horrible fill. All right. Well, it is what it is. So we'll drop the take profit a little bit lower. I might have to give it some. Damn it.
Well, it can move a lot, so I mean, you should be fine.
It's just funny because I got everything put in, and then as I was going to hit the button, it said drop before.
Oh man, it was within milliseconds, of course.
Of course, that's funny. Oh gosh, 1-to-1 to that demand zone. Ugh, that's hideous. 1-to-1.
Hey, it could break right now. I mean, a lot of selling pressure going through, so this could be the time.
Yeah, I'm gonna move my take profit. I got to make this thing at least a 2-to-1. Come on, let's do. All right, that's about a 1.5 to 1. Problem is that demand zone I was talking about buying earlier when Smile was asking about price going down on it. That's got to be a little wary of it, but anyway, it's definitely dropping. So I missed a few pips.
Good Good short,
Yep.
good short, man. I mean, I agree with it 100%. I'm hoping that it breaks for you here, and we see the liquidity, the liquidity suction all the way down to 37.61 for you on the futures here, which I don't know what the equivalent is on yours, but it's a pretty good drop
Yeah.
that you would see if that was to happen. So it looks like we are 20 seconds away from the session ending, though. So with that being
Yeah.
said. Congrats again, Phillips, yours for the 5K counts. Appreciate the chatting and no
Yeah.
sleep, Giannis. Great to see y'all. Ariel, smile. Appreciate it. All of you, Tom. Thank you so much. Forex Fire tomorrow morning. You can catch Tiger
Yep.
on
5
Forex
hours.
Fire tomorrow morning, 4
Yeah. We'll
a.m.
see if my
Eastern.
yeah. We'll see if I'm still in this Swiss yen trade. I mean, it's plus $100 at the moment, but it's unrealized. And yeah, I just got into this gold, so I'll probably be out of this trade by then. But yeah, I'll definitely be updating it
Awesome.
on that show. So, Paul, it was wonderful as always. Always great conversations, a little laughs here and there, good stories. So
Always a pleasure. Yeah, man. Well,
Yep.
I'll catch you again next week, and have a great day tomorrow and a great weekend.
All right, boss. Appreciate it. Thanks,
All right.
chat. Thanks back in. Have a good one.
See you, Tiger. Bye,
All
everybody.
righty.
Hola Prime, trade with transparency.